Welcome back, everyone. This is, I believe it's part 6 now. So that means that with each of these segments being 15 minutes, it's been an hour and a half since we began. So, anyways, oops, let me start my timer. Okay, so I spent half an hour, that was basically 2 parts, just dealing with hair. And for those of you who are saying, oh my God, how can this guy spend half an hour designing a hairstyle? Well, I'll tell you something. If you've ever been to a professional hair salon, they always book 1 hour appointments. And, I tell you, a guy with a straight razor or an electric razor can shave you bald in all of 30 seconds, especially if you go to the army or whatever. Um, okay, but we are not shaving people bald here. We are dealing with people's heads. And so, if you want to have, I'm basically spending as much time on this character's hair as a professional hairdresser would because I'm designing. So, that said, do not worry if it takes you a long time to design hair because it is not something that should be taken lightly. A lot of times, more often than not, when I see hairstyles being designed on DeviantArt, they are just terrible. They're, people don't spend the time. They don't invest the time in making a good design. So as you can see, everything up until this point has been an investment of time. And it is painstaking work and troublesome. And it's why they pay us the big bucks. We have to earn it. So the next step from dealing with this is I'm just going around and looking at the undergarment layer and just, clearing up anything that kind of doesn't look quite like I'm seeing these shapes here on the glove and I'm trying to continue these shapes up and down. I'm trying to unify. I see the shape and I'm trying to sweep it up and down. I'm unifying the shapes, making maybe slightly asymmetrical or not. It is really up to you how you want to do it. It kind of looks interesting, asymmetrical. And then I'm also going through the other colors and I'm doing the appropriate, trim lines. Okay. So now that I'm, for the time being, satisfied with the way that things are looking, okay, I'm going to go on and into my layers. I got my front layer here, right? Got my undergarments layer here. It's the figure. I'm just going to spend a little bit of time and draw in a face layer. And for this, I'll just use a regular brush. So that's what I'm using. It's just a regular brush. I can turn down the opacity of the front layer. In fact, I think at this point now would be a good time to use the necessary transform tools to, oh dear. Yeah, now's the time where you go through your layers, sift through your layers, and find where you screwed up. In this case, I use the skin color to put that in there. So I'm just dealing with my little sins right now. Oh, come on. Okay. Okay. I'm going to just turn down the opacity of that front hair. I'm going to go back to that back hair layer. I'm going to save. Okay, now I can take the panning tool around. I'm going to pan that back hair. Let's properly center it on the head. Do the same for the front hair as well. And I'm noticing that some of that bit has exposed because my front hair layer wasn't high enough. So then I have to go back to the front layer. Just cover that bit up. Oh, and I got to undo my stencil and there. Okay. So now you're seeing that. Okay, so now the hair is properly centered. Things have more or less been trimmed and everything is now pretty again. I'm just going to go also to my layer window. I'm going to add in overgarments because I have an undergarments layer and this is the overgarments. Undergarments does not necessarily mean underwear. It just means it is the under layer of clothing and fabric. I'm also going to go through and lock all of my transparencies. Oh, and I was drawing a face a moment ago. So I'm just locking the transparencies of my other layers except for the ones that I'm messing with. So go to that face layer. I'll just take out my regular paintbrush and here we are. I wanted to turn back the opacity of that front hair layer. And now I can sort of start drawing in. A very simple face. And you see, since I can see where the hair is, you know, that encourages me, you know, to place the pupils in a place where they are visible. You know, at this point, you can really mess with eyebrows as well. You know, and facial features. You can make one higher than the other. Asymmetry is a fun thing to play around with. I'm going to turn down that hair layer a little bit more just so I can better judge. You notice how I place the corners of the mouth first and then like to me, I draw the mouth before I draw the nose. Okay. Satisfied with that. Make a new layer. So there's face, under face. Good. Go back to my shape cutting tool. Back to the face layer. I just want those pupils to really register. When you put in eyelashes, sometimes the pupils kind of disappear on you. Oops. I was painting with a gray instead of a black. I still have to even out the pupils. Yep. Tricky, 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 because one side is slowly getting wider. So yeah, again, something that requires a sizable investment of time to make it look right. Sometimes what helps is also things like highlights on the eyes and whatnot, but anyway, I think that will do. And I think that most of it you can't even see. Which is, why I guess you can cheat and you can throw, a face layer on top of that. I only do it to the top layer, just to make it visible. And then, yeah, yeah, but I don't know. I don't quite like that look. I think in this case, what I'll do is I'll take the front hair and we'll just slide it a bit. You know what the thing is that, the front hair and then this stuff on top, I need to carry it over. That's what I need to do. Okay. So that's what I'll do. I'll take that front hair. Okay, so basically this time it's like, yeah, we drew the face, we did a little bit of layer prep. It's like all of this stuff is just, tightening up, going around and maintenance basically is what it is. It's because I've got a lot of layers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 8 layers. I got 8 layers, one of them's hidden. So 7 layers effectively. And I have to take I got to move layers around. So I'm going to go back to that back hair layer. I got to cut layer data out. Where's my selection tool? Here we go. Okay, so where's my front hair layer? Turn that down so I can see what's going on. Take the figure, turn that transparent so I can see the back layer. I like this hair here on top, so shoot. That means that I need to take all of this stuff here that I like. Okay. Then I can cut that to a layer separately. There's a button in the selection tool which lets me cut it to a separate layer. I think. Yeah, so it's been cut to a separate layer. Oh, except before I do that cut to layer, I need to unlock the transparency. So I'll cut to layer. There, now it's in its own layer. I can take this and place this underneath the front hair. And then I can bring that back, clear my selection, merge the front layer with that selection of back hair, apply that. I've got to rename the layer. So this is front hair again. Bring the figure back in. Now I can pan, and we're running out of time. But the advantage is I like how it looks. That is our investment or sacrifice